I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Dan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any other type of videos, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, or anything in between, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the Puppet Masters from 1994. Now, it's been a while since I've seen this, and overall, I liked it. I liked it back then. I liked it now. I don't love it, but I liked it. I would give it like a, I don't know, 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know, because obviously when you look at the Puppet Masters, there's going to be a lot of comparisons to the Body Snatchers. Now, for what I understand, Robert A. Heinlein's Puppet Masters, I believe, came out before Body Snatchers. Although technically, I think the story Who Goes There, which then became the basis for The Thing from Another World, and more so John Carver's The Thing, where who can you trust? Can I trust you? I think the story Who Goes There might have been before both of them, so what came first, the chicken or the egg? So I point that out to say it's unfair to call this a Body Snatchers ripoff, because again, the story I think technically is before Body Snatchers. Although it's funny, movie-wise, in 1993, or maybe 94, although some places say 93, but it might have technically come out February 1994, you had the 90s Body Snatchers film. And I rather liked that Body Snatchers flick. I don't want to say 1993 for sake of argument. That was from the director of Bad Lieutenant. Body Snatchers from the 90s is my favorite version of the Body Snatchers. I love the military location that was in. I love Meg Tilly's, we don't go, we don't run, we don't hide, nowhere, because there's no one like you left. I love the direction of the film. It's a good looking picture. The score is creepy. I think that's a very effective film in what it was trying to do and convey. This one, I would say, is fun. It's a bit more of an action film. It's a bit more of what you call a Hollywood film. Really enough, at times it does feel like an X-Files episode. Idea, which is funny because X-Files debuted in like 93 or so. And then you have a guy and a girl that could very well be Mulder and Scully, as well as the old man played by Donald Sutherland. And of course, Donald Sutherland was in the 70s invasions of the Body Snatchers. So he's in the film, and it's nice to see Donald Sutherland, good actor. Eric Thal, who plays Donald Sutherland's son, and he's also an agent for this CIA type of organization. Eric Thal, he's okay. He didn't do a whole lot after this. One thing about him is, and when I say this, and you see the film, then you can't unsee it. He likes to catch flies with his mouth. If you watch his performance in this, he does a lot of this. Oh, yeah. He does a lot of that. Even when he's after done running, he's like... And of course, when there's a point where he gets possessed, well, puppeted, and he's going... He's trying to pull his gun. I don't know if he was told to do this or if he did himself. It looks goofy at times, and I wish the director would have been like, Can you do that a little bit of... This is a bit weird. It's a bit of... just some weird quirk thing. But I don't mind him. It's weird. He reminds me... It's like I see him and then he reminds me of someone, but I'm like, who does he remind me of? I can't picture. Like, I see him, he reminds me of someone else. But it's like in the back of my head, I can't really think of it. And then also with them is Julie Warner. And I knew she looked familiar. She was in Tommy Boy. She's the girl who Tommy, Chris Farley, likes in Tommy Boy. And potential girlfriend. I mean, oh yeah, she was in Tommy Boy. She's been in other stuff too, but that's what I remember the most from. You also have Teef David, which is always cool to see Teef David. Yaphet Kotto from Alien, the Running Man, he's in it as well. Sally, very, very tiny role. Anybody could have played him. Let's see, there's also Will Patton. Will Patton, he was in Armageddon. He's been in other stuff. He plays one of the scientists. Again, cool to see him in there. Teef David, for those who don't know, was in John Carpenter's The Thing, ironically enough. Another film where, can I trust you? You know, that type of mentality. And the set of the film, it takes place in Iowa, funny enough. This beam of light comes down, which I didn't mind the way it looked for the budget. It was like a beam of light, like a funnel comes down. And some people went to it. More and more people being puppeted. And it's pretty much, and I don't mind the effects on these things. It's a, some people call it a slug, but it looks like a mini manta ray. Think of a mini manta ray that will get in the back of your neck, sink its tendrils in, and then will stick on your back, and then control you like a puppet. So granted, technically easier to tell than Body Snatchers, as long as you tell people to take off your shirt, whereas that becomes a running theme, and it almost becomes a joke, like, goddamn, if you close your eyes, you would think this is like some kind of porn film, with how many times people go, take off your shirt! Can you take off your shirt, please? Goddamn. But I like the way these creatures look. I thought the effects people did a fairly solid job with it. Done practically. I think they look pretty cool. I never read the source material, so I don't know what's different, what's the same. I know technically the writers for this were gone, I believe, to write like Shrek and other stuff, but they were not happy with this film. They called it a piece of junk. Because apparently, like the studio, like for example, the studio did not want a flying saucer, even though there was a flying saucer in the source material. And the writers like, but this is part of it. And that's a big part of the ending, where it's this tension-filled moment where the character's going through the flying saucer. And, no, we don't want it. And then like they got David Goyer to rewrite it. And then... I can see what the writers are talking about when I get to the finale. Because the finale does look cheap. I'll get to that in a minute. But it's a movie that's definitely a fast-paced film. I mean, within 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes of the film, our main characters find out there are aliens. They are attacked by people left and right. They have to shoot some people. They get in a car chase. There's even a point where, pretty good stunt, where a guy's hanging onto the side of the car. They slam him into a telephone pole. Not pole, booth. Not pole. Through a telephone booth, and it crashes into it. Pretty. There's a kid who's puppeted, like a teenager, and it crashes through the windshield of the car, attacking them. Because apparently when the aliens are attached, they get like a boost of adrenaline and such. And so when it's stuff like that, it's fun, it's entertaining, it's popcorn. It's not the smartest movie in the world. And it's one of those things that there are sequences I go, that's a bit weird. Like, for example, Thal at one point, he gets one of these attached to his neck. They're able to get it off of him. And for some reason, depending on who you are, the withdrawals, which I like this idea that if you get this thing off of you, you're scot-free. You have this withdrawal thing. But like, Richard Belzer's in this. Richard Belzer, he was in a bunch of Law and Order shows, other stuff. When he gets it off of him, he's in such withdrawal, he's deathly sick, and he even commits suicide because of his withdrawal, missing it so much, because it gave him such a bump or whatever. But here, he's just crying. Our lead character is crying naked in a hospital shower. Julie Warner comes in. The guy's like, oh, please, my daddy. Like, he's talking like a kid, my daddy, my daddy. And he's like grabbing on Julie Warner, like by her neck. And then he starts kissing. And then she starts kissing back. I thought, oh wow, this is a weird point to introduce a love story. Did you need a love story in this? You know, if you want to invoke this X-Files vibe, maybe you should take that also to heart, where there's many years where there's no romance between Mulder and Scully. To me, that was for the better. Because you don't need love story in every fucking thing. And it's just weird, like, okay, this is the point where this guy's crying, and he's going through withdrawal symptoms, and he's talking like, and okay, he starts kissing you, but then you start making out with him, and the bottom, and that's where the love story really begins, folks. So I just thought that was a bit weird. I wish Chief David was even more in the film, because I enjoyed him. I like when Will Patton is explaining this stuff about the creature, and Chief David says to the room, "It sounds like he wants to fuck the thing." I kind of wish Chief David was the lead. No disrespect to Thal, but if Chief David, with this sense of humor, with this bravado, I do wish Chief David was the lead of the film. I really do. I didn't no disrespect to Thal. I thought he did fine. I didn't mind him, except close the mouth, stop catching flies. Chief David would have been, I think, a lot cooler in the lead. But it is fucking Chief David. Nothing wrong with Chief David. I do wish he was the star of the film. The movie, for the most part, goes at a decent pace for a while, where, like I mentioned, all that stuff happened in the first 10 minutes, and then, I didn't mind the scene where they're talking with the thing that's attached to Thal's body. Sutherland has to talk with him, and you realize the alien can control the host's vital signs, and I don't mind that sequence. The score, I didn't care for the score. I didn't. That's another thing. When I think of X-Files, did a lot better. That music score, or other movies, even like Body Snatchers, seemed like a creepier score, which fits with the mood. Here, the score, I just did not care for it at all. Some people liked the musical score. I thought, man, if you really had like a great, whether it be a Hans Zimmer or Jerry Goldsmith or James Horner, or you had someone much more on top of their game, I think that could really have helped this movie up it a few notches in terms of tension or suspense or during the action sequences. As they are, they just kind of forgettable, weak score, in my opinion. In the opening, with the opening credits, let's put it that way, it shows like the Earth, and then it shows the titles. Go watch the Blob remake in 1988, which I think that's a great score. Very underrated score. And you watch the way that score really underlines the tension and mood as we see the Earth and then the Blob titles and then the emptiness of the town. And the score really, again, builds that atmosphere and mood. Compared to the score in this, which is like, didn't make me feel anything. So I do think that is to the detriment of the film. And there's some nice moments. There's a more ill attached to whoever, and Agent Eric is chasing the guy, and not the guy, the girl actually finds there's a girl, and they have kind of a brutal fight in the kitchen. I didn't mind that scene. I was surprised with a little bit how brutal it was, since it's a guy fighting a girl. I'm like, you're not gonna have that nowadays. Be too sexist. After a while, though, like I would say after the creature gets off of one of our main characters, it's kind of by the numbers for a while. Not bad, not horrible, but fairly by the numbers. You know, like you have the graph, like this is what it is in 10 hours. This is how many will be infected in 24 hours. As you get bigger and bigger. Find a way where the hive mind. Oh, there's a way we gotta infect the hive mind. We've seen that many times before. They send in the military, you know it's not going to work, and it doesn't. This love story, I don't think you needed a love story in this. I really don't. It's a very meh love story. And then she gets taken over and she escapes, and Eric talks to his father down with Sutherland, and it's like they find out, well, it's moving this way, and because of this, well, it's probably here. So Eric and Chief David are going to go by themselves, the two of them, and parachute down, and I just look for her. I just also look for something else to find a way to stop this. And this is where I was talking about it gets really cheap. And that's the thing. I do think, and people don't go, are you sure you like the film? I do like the film, because again, it moves at, at least for the first half, it moves at a pretty quick pace. Some decent stunt work. The final bit has some decent stunt work with a helicopter where people are hanging off helicopter, doing it for real. No bullshit ending. I appreciate this as well. There's no bullshit ending. And it's not too long of a film. The acting, I thought, was fine. Not great, but fine. And it's one of those, popcorn, escapism, entertainment, but it's nothing great. For a variety of reasons, like the score is a letdown, subpar. By the halfway mark, it goes fairly by the numbers. You know the military's going to get taken over. There's really no action scenes involving the military. Nothing exciting or anything like them shooting, but nothing like that. There's this love story injected into it that I don't think it needed. Like, imagine John Carpenter's The Thing, and then, that happens to be a girl, and then you inject a love story into it. It's like, nah, it's not needed. I don't think it was needed here. And then, when Chief David and Eric Thal goes into the hive, I forgot that it looked this cheap. And I could see why the writers like wanted a spaceship where you're going through the corridors and maybe you get some tension, maybe you get some claustrophobic setting. These little creatures, are they in that corner? Are they in that corner? Will they come out of here? Will they come out of there? Or will the people come out of here? Oh, we're really close by. We have these transmitters that make it seem as if we're part of them, but if we get too close and, there's suspense you could build, it doesn't really do that. Instead, it's like a jellyfish thing and a bunch of strings. And just people just standing there. Attached to these strings. Puppets. Puppet master. But then it looks like an empty warehouse. And like there's a guy walking down the stairs over here. It's just like an empty warehouse like building with some stairs and shit. And it's just... put this thing that looks like a jellyfish and then put some fucking strings down and they attach them. Put some light. Just get a fucking thing here. Or, I don't know, just get one of these things here, and just put it, fucking da-da-da. And it's like, Actually, that was kind of cool. I got a nuclear bomb. Go blow up. No. I'll put that over here. No, I'll put it over there. Fuck it. But yeah, it just looked really cheap for your finale. I'm like, yeah, there's no suspense, there's no tension, and this looks almost like a stage play. And like they cheaped out on this set. They really fucking cheaped out. Which is sad, because they had some really cool looking, the manta ray creature, the aliens themselves, but this is like, really? Again, no wonder the writers were mad that they wanted a ship, because then you get stuff like this. Also, they get the girl out, they start shooting. That's another thing I didn't understand with the script. Where I said there's some issues with the script. The script very much states that this is all one mind. One mind. If that's the case, wouldn't they all know that they're being attacked? If that's the case, like when Ted David and Eric, they're shooting at people, shouldn't there be like hundreds and thousands of people coming at them? Instead, it's like, they're sneaking around and some people don't notice. Like, they're just going off their business. I'm like, wait a minute. If they're all one mind, don't they know? Like, don't they... Wouldn't they figure, like, wait a minute, someone's being attacked? Or are they like, nah, fuck it, ain't my problem. Yeah, I'm one of you, but I'll just do this. Like, if they're all in one mind, one hive mind, why was no one else, like, noticing that, these two soldiers are rescuing someone and... I didn't understand that, but whatever. And then I thought it was very convenient that they just find a kid, and oh my god, they've been studying us, and here's a kid, oh my god, he's alive. This kid that we've never seen before, out of the fucking blue, just out of the blue, here's a kid there, cut him down, and oh, sadly, Ted David, I didn't care for what happened to him. I didn't think he needed to die. I know it's a spoiler. Sorry, I should have warned you ahead of time. But I don't think he needed to die. In fact, I think he could have been the lead. I think that'd be cool. Be different. It would be progressive. Just do it, So, they're able to get back our two leads, Eric Thal, Julie Warner, and you find out this kid has encephalitis. And that will fuck up the aliens but not kill us. At least long enough to kill it. And then, inject the right medicine. And apparently they're going to spread it by mosquitoes. Like, they don't put in mosquitoes. And the mosquitoes are going to... Or I guess they're going to bite people. I don't know, for some reason the whole spreading the cure by mosquitoes just seems like a poor idea. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but I'm like, mosquitoes? And apparently my webcam felt the same way too, because now it's slowing down. Even my webcam said, my webcam literally slowed down like, yeah, I said mosquitoes. Mosquitoes? Like I just my webcam for a minute thinking of that. I mean, there's no better ways to spread a cure than mosquitoes. I'm glad these aliens don't use fucking spray. What if they're, people that never want to fucking go outside? Then how the hell do they get the mosquitoes? I mean, what do I know? Plus, don't they... It was weird. There's another thing about it. I remember in the beginning, when our agents and Donald Sutherland are first approaching the ship, or the ship. They're at the beginning. They're investigating what's going on. Donald Sutherland talks to his son and go, "You notice anything?" "Yeah, I don't hear any birds. I don't hear any animals." Does that mean they affect the wildlife? How? I don't know. But somehow they fucking did it on the fucking animals too, and the birds and the bugs. They said they didn't hear anything. So would they do the same thing in the mosquito? I mean, I don't know. Just the whole mosquito thing sounded weird to me. Fuck do I... But anyway. See, that part of the ending I thought was the weakest part. Now, I do like the last bit where everything's dead, but there's one more, and it's on Donald Sutherland. Spoiler alerts. Extra spoilers. And Donald Sutherland, his performance is kind of quirky but fun. Like earlier when they're in the car chase and someone grabs onto the door and Donald Sutherland is always with a cane. He's like, "Get out, get out, get out." And here, when Donald Sutherland has a puppet on him, like not a puppet, but an alien on him, it's like, "Hey, look, son, I can fly a helicopter. Automatic pilot." Like, I wasn't sure what I thought about it at first, but I was enjoying it. Whether that means it was good or not, I don't know, but I was enjoying it. And there's some decent stunt work with real people hanging outside the helicopter. I didn't see the spoilers. I like the fact that the last creature gets torn up by the helicopter blades. It ends. No sequel bait ending. No bullshit ending. It's the Hollywood ending. I'm actually fine with that. That's actually my preferred type of ending. Which is funny because John Carpenter's Thing is one of my favorite films ever. But I think John Carpenter does that type of thing well. That's the thing. If you don't do it, you gotta do it well, in my opinion. John Carpenter does that well. I think even the Body Snatchers film 90s did that fairly well. That's the thing. If Abel Ferrara, that was the guy who directed it. And I was saying this before, despite the stuff I do like, I do think that the major problem with this film, I said it was that bit with the finale, but I think the true major issue is the director, Stuart Orme. Now, like I said, I like the film because I don't mind, for the most part, the cast. It has enough fun, like little action set pieces. I like the look of the aliens, the manta ray effects of these aliens, the design. And like I said, goes back. There's some few nice pieces of stunt work. For the most part, it's not boring. Like, again, it's rainy afternoon, easy time waster. But this director, I don't know what else he's done, and I can kind of see why. Because I think the biggest problem with the film, it has flat direction. There's nothing, whether the cinematography or, like, there's nothing that pops. Like, you look at Abel Ferrara, how he directed Body Snatchers. It's a good-looking movie. With either, certain ways of the soldiers walking, and the sun's going up or going down, and just certain ways Abel Ferrara would shoot scenes. The mid-tilly, the way he shot it up close but slightly downward, and like the way that scene plays off in tension. Like Abel Ferrara knows how to do that fairly well. John Carpenter knows how to do that well in The Thing. Stuart Orme, I don't know why they got this guy, because his direction seems like a TV movie at times. Like it just seemed like a flat direction. I didn't really notice much style with the camera work or with the editing or really with anything of the, like it's a very flat direction. Again, if you notice anything about the film, again, it's either go you're having fun with the plot, you like these kind of plots, or you're not minding the cast, or you're liking the little bits with the aliens. It's not going to be about the direction because it's very pedestrian direction. And I'm like, yeah, I guess there's a reason why I've never heard of this director before, and probably never hear again. And I think they really needed a different director to really make this film pop. It's like get rid of the love story, put a bit of budget to the setting of the finale. Getting rid of the love story puts the pacing of the second half quite a bit tighter. Or they could be friends. There's nothing wrong with being friends with a girl. Doesn't mean you just have to, I don't want to fuck. You can't be friends. Worked on Moonlighting for a while until they had sex and they ruined it. And worked on X-Files for a long time. Just nothing wrong with friends. The Relic. Tom Sizemore, Penelope Ann Miller. It's not like, hey, you want to fuck? We know there's a monster in the museum, but you want to fuck? No, there's no time for love, Dr. Jones. I can put some budget into, get a fucking ship, which is what the studio's like, we don't want a ship. Do it well. Predator 2 did it well. When Danny Glover was in the ship, right? Let me ask Danny. Did it work well in Predator 2? Yeah, it worked well in Predator 2. He said it worked well in Predator 2, so thanks, Danny. He said it worked well in Predator 2. So, lo and behold, it can work. So what the fuck do I know? But anyway, a different director I think would have really made this film pop. I think really would have brought either the tension or the suspense or something else to that. I think a different director, whether you have like a, if you want to make it more of an action film, bring in a Rennie Harlan, bring in a Tony Scott. If you want more of a suspense, I'd have to think about that. I had to think about that for tension, but... And yeah, it doesn't help that we just had Body Snatchers come out, which also dealt with this similar vibe, and it's just a better directed film. That's... Abel Ferrara did a really good job with that. And... But it's an interesting double feature. Like, if you want more of a horror film, better directed film, you got Body Snatchers. If you want a not as well directed, but a bit more of a fun popcorn, bit more action, then Puppet Masters would be more your thing. Like I said, it's an interesting double feature. Like, you watch Body Snatchers and the Puppet Masters. And I don't think it's as bad as his reputation, though. I don't think it's as horrible as his reputation, though. It's entertaining enough as, at the very least, a time waster. So, yeah, I know I was nitpicking a lot of stuff, but overall, especially the first half, is rather entertaining. The ending, the very, very end, I don't mind that bit of a sequence. Like I said, I don't mind the actors. Just Eric Thal, just someone should have told him, stop opening your mouth. But overall, it's still a fun film. Like I said, it's like a maybe 3 out of 5 star movie. So, I like it better than, what was in the Nicole Kidman film, The Invasion? I'm surprised They have done like 4 Body Snatchers films, but they've only done 1 Puppet Masters. I just find that interesting. Like, 4 Body Snatchers, but only 1 Puppet Masters. I wonder why. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.